listening to Downworlder Dish, a Shadowhunter Chronicles podcast. Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 14, where we will be discussing chapter 18, The Mortal Cup. I'm Kristen.
I am Robin.
And I'm Amanda.
This is Robin the Terminator.
Always, obviously. It's my alias.
No.
Right.
Smithy.
Ruben.
Ruben
Stutter.
That's my bad.
I don't know what his name is.
Stuttered?
That's what I thought, but it sounded wrong when it came out of my mouth.
That's Amanda's drunk name for me.
Yeah.
Ruben.
I accidentally called her that when I was drunk once and it just stuck.
It's just the Ruben with the mustard stain will always be stuck in my head forever, ever, ever.
That's great. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, we had something exciting happen this week.
What?
Your birthday.
Well, technically it was last week.
Well,
But
I know. I mean, I guess it is Tuesday.
It was only 9 days ago. It was fine.
Oh my God. The days are just flying by. I'm looking at my calendar going, oh my God, you're right.
Yeah, for real. It was my birthday. I turned 30 dose.
And the rail. It's good to be old.
You just wanted me to be the same age as you.
Baby.
It's only a couple of months. It doesn't mean anything. But yeah, I feel exactly the same. What I did for my birthday, you ask, I did nothing because we're quarantined and I can't go anywhere.
You did do something
I went to my backyard,
though. You sent me some throwback pictures that I'm going to post on Instagram.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. Oh, I found some gems.
They're good.
I can't.
I was trying to figure out whose fingernail was in the picture, if I sent them to you or if you sent them to me.
The pink ones, the pink square ones,
Okay.
those are yours.
Okay.
What'd you guys do this past weekend? It was Easter, right? On Sunday.
Yeah. Andy and we drove out to my brother's and gave my nephews their baskets. That was fun. Nice. Actually getting out and seeing people we know. We, of course, stayed away from them.
Even if you had to be 10 feet away from each other.
Yeah, but I got to see my nephew ride his bike with no training wheels, and it was fun. So that was nice to get out.
I made tamales.
Ooh, nice.
Yes. And they were delicious. And then the ants got into the Easter eggs because they were outside for too long.
No.
Oops. It's all right. But that's it.
They were still fun to pick up.
They were very fun to pick up.
All right. Enough with the chit chat. Let's kick things off with Robin's recap.
Previously on Downworlder Dish.
Jace and Clary have a picnic lunch in the greenhouse and discuss their childhoods, including Jace and Alex's first meeting. Jace sets the mood, showing Clary the blooming midnight flower and gives her a witch light for her birthday. The conversation continues. Birthday wishes, chickenpox scars, Isabel and Jace. Did it happen? Most importantly, Jace calls Clary beautiful and they kiss. Hugo kills the mood and they head to Clary's room where Simon catches them snogging. Everyone is mad at everyone. Simon's hurt because he's been in love with Clary for the last 10 years. His words, not mine. Jace is upset because Simon was sleeping in her room and Clary is confused and embarrassed. Looking through her sketchpad, Clary notices something about the runes she's drawn and tests out her theory.
Yeah, she notices what a great artist she is.
I am so good at drawing, you guys.
Oh,
this is amazing.
Goodness gracious.
They look so real, these angel wings.
I'm going to touch it, and it's going to feel like a feather. That was too much. I'm sorry. I took it too far.
No, that was good. That was really good. I disagree.
But I love that it's at two completely different times of the year, but Clary and I had our birthday the same week.
What? We planned it. We didn't plan it.
We start the chapter in Jace's point of view for the first time, and he's exactly as broody as you would expect. He's lying in bed, pretending to be asleep and ignoring the outside world. Unfortunately for him, Clary is a persistent little nugget.
I feel like you should say biscuit like Magnus. That's all I can think of.
Unfortunately for him, Clary is a persistent little biscuit. Begrudgingly, Jace hauls himself out of bed, his body much more sore. Because sore isn't a word, right?
Yeah, sore is not a word.
Okay. His body much more sore than he'd originally let on. Of course, because he always has to be a freaking martyr. So being inside of Jace's head is awesome. He makes just as many internal cracks at Simon as he says out loud, and we finally get some wind in the sails of our clay ship.
Ooh.
He's totally into her. What did you guys feel like? Did it surprise you, or did it take you a second to realize that you were in Jace's head, or was it like right away?
I knew right away because obviously their inner monologue is a little bit different, but it is so fun.
It is.
She has the most excited look on her face.
It's good. Okay, Clary can be a little dull sometimes just because I think it's the same over and over and over again. So it's nice to get some fresh perspective.
Yeah, and it's interesting how, because sometimes when you read a book, the inner monologue, like if it's a book in third person, they don't change. Like the writing style doesn't change. So like the thought process, like the way the thoughts are compiled in somebody's head, like it's different for every person. And sometimes you lack personality in a character when you're in multiple characters' heads. So it's nice to see that like you can clearly tell his head and his, self-talk is different than Clary's.
It's amazing. Basically,
the best thing since sliced bread. The best thing since an apple sliced with a dagger.
We gotta work on our energy, man. It's totally different when we're not all in the same room together.
I love
I'm gonna
lamp.
be completely honest here, okay? I don't remember this part.
It's very quick.
Sorry.
It is.
That's why I'm kind of quiet.
Okay. I can talk about it for a moment if you're down. I got excited because I didn't remember this transition happening. Because God knows how many years it's been since I read City of Bones.
Same.
And I thought it was going to last longer. Like, I was like, ooh, is this going to be the whole chapter? How refreshing. And then it was not. And
It was like a page
The
and a
thing
half.
that was weird is there was not a very clear transition between Jace to Clary either.
Yeah, it was just a page. It was just a like paragraph break.
It would just, yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen again.
I wonder why. Okay, I'm glad that we got the glimpse, but I wonder why now. Like, why pick this moment?
I think it's to let the reader know that Jace is into her.
Okay.
Just to see for a brief moment, get inside Jace's head because he's so sarcastic that you can never really tell what he's feeling. And so I think it was just like used as like a narrative tool to kind of give you some more information without Clary knowing.
Yeah, he definitely seems like the type of guy that now that he's kind of been, I don't know if I'd say hurt, but he's kind of been hurt, I guess. He would just stop. Okay, I'm over it. Moved on.
Right, because it's
sort of thing.
too much
So
of a risk to let yourself be vulnerable and get hurt a second time.
I thought you said vulnerable.
She did.
Okay, so yeah, I loved being inside Jace's head. I thought it was a nice little extra, I guess.
Freaking amazing. For the last time, I swear I'll stop.
Good.
Because we're all over it.
So Clary's banging on his door. Jace gets up, opens the door, and he sees her, and he has this like internal monologue where we get to see how he actually feels about Clary. And he is almost confused as to why he finds himself attracted to Clary. And in his internal monologue, he speculates that it might be because she doesn't know she's beautiful. And I was like, side-eye.
Side-eye.
Yeah. And I wrote a note here and I just said, I feel like this is a trope / outdated plot device that we saw a lot in YA fiction in the early 2000s. This sort of like she's all that moment, you know, kind of a situation where she's this plain Jane or whatever, and then you take her glasses off and throw some lipstick on her, and she's she's gorgeous.
We were talking about that the other day, the glasses and the ponytail.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Which I never thought of Clary as not super cute.
Mm-hmm.
But I do notice like she has, obviously she has self-esteem issues, as we've touched on.
Right. And the other part of that, like, she's all that moment, it's not that they're not beautiful. It's that they don't know that they're beautiful. It's like, please, you see yourself every day. And I get like how you can have lower self-esteem or whatever, but it's not like nobody's going to notice the girl with glasses is actually secretly a Maxim model. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it was like this kind of like archetype, and there was like two of them. It was either like the nerdy girl or the bombshell, you know, and it was kind of like this circular thing that it was in everything during the last like 20 years or whatever. And in recent years we've seen like a definite shift, and I think that has a lot to do with like just women being more vocal about what they want to see in media and things like that. And there's been a lot of pushback on that kind of like, oh, you know, here, you're a plot device female, you know, and especially in YA, because they're catering towards the young female reader, it's a lot of like, oh, you're, you know, XYZ and you fit in this mold, and every single YA fantasy protagonist is exactly like this over and over and over and over again. So I think this trope, I know I'm being long-winded. I'm sorry. I feel very passionately about this. I think it's kind of like a crutch, and I think it was definitely a device used by authors, especially during around, you know, the mid-early 2000s to get your book deal.
Oh,
you know
okay.
I mean? Like if,
interesting,
you know, you kind of have to fit the market, and the market was this. But I will say for Cassie, as the Shadowhunter Chronicles has continued, she pulled away from that prototype in future books, and she really took the time to flesh out her characters and give them more layers and give them different personalities. And they're not just, oh, if you're the good-looking, sarcastic boy, then you also have to be this, 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 and this. It's like, yes, there are a lot of moody boys because she loves her moody boys, but they all have different problems. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that they all have different personalities. And especially her female characters, she really diversified their kind of feelings and the way they handle situations and things like that. And there are certain, like, highlights that are kind of consistent in the female protagonists, like the teen female protagonist, that you kind of have to hit. Like, she has to be someone who's, you know, courageous, right? Especially in like a fantasy. I guess it might be interesting if she wasn't, just to be subversive.
If she was a Robin.
If she was like, oh shit, really?
This book's not
and
about
she just
me.
gets dragged along.
I'm going to call my dad.
I'd read that book.
Leave me alone.
She's just scared, and like the old like Haymitch type is like has to like just carry her through all of these things to fulfill the prophecy.
I am such a good side character, guys.
But you know, there are certain hits, but it's nice to see that in between those things we can get some more complex characters, and I think Cassie does a really good job of that in later books. But I think this book was one of those things that it just kind of fell pitfall to the publisher.
I totally forgot about. Okay, never mind. Forgot about. I wouldn't analyze anything like that when I was reading it the first time or the second time or even the third time. But it's one of those things where it's like, I love this book. Obviously, it got me into Shadowhunters and stuff, but it is definitely not one of my favorites. So it's almost like, okay, get through it, and then let's get on to the next one, and the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. So I don't think I've ever taken the time to really dissect chapter by chapter or this character or that character. And when we were thinking about, when we were planning the podcast on Cassandra Clare's website, she has discussion topics which is just crazy, but it's awesome for their books and stuff. And I don't know. I wonder, what do you think? How many people are doing,
That's interesting. I'm surprised you haven't brought that up before.
So I wouldn't normally pick this apart, and especially not when I was 18 reading this, because I was the target audience. You know what I mean? And it was just, I loved it. And I was devouring everything that I could find at, during that time. And, later the Hunger Games and all of that. So no, not in the first, second, or even third read through would I have taken the time to kind of analyze that. But as an author, since when I go back and anytime I read now, I'm picking it apart and analyzing it in my head and kind of what was the author thinking here and trying to figure it out so I can kind of decode the formula, right? So it's I look at things in terms of plot and pacing and stuff like that, just because I can't help it. And I will say it is kind of frustrating because it's hard for me to enjoy a book.
Do you have an easier time with Audible, listening to it instead of reading it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could imagine.
I have to listen to it because reading it, I'm just no, I would change that sentence structure or I would do this. And it's really frustrating for me because I was such an avid and voracious reader. And then in the past 5 years since I've been writing, it's progressively gotten to where it's harder for me to enjoy something that I used to love so much. But when I go back and read an old series like this, I still get to enjoy it just as much while I'm picking it apart because I have that nostalgia towards it. You know what I mean?
That's great. So you're a tapeworm, not a bookworm.
Okay, really quickly.
I can't with your dad jokes. Do not try to go over that, Amanda. Do not try to gloss over that shit.
I have a completely different question.
I'm we need to give that a moment.
It was a joke in a David Sedaris book, okay? I'm not that clever.
Okay, how many times have you guys read this book specifically?
This is my 4th.
I probably 7 or 8.
Wow.
I listened to it once, so.
Yeah, that's including listening to.
Oh, okay.
So,
interesting.
Yeah, well, maybe
no,
9.
I didn't listen to this one. I listened to City of Heavenly Fire.
So I've read the Mortal Instrument series 4 times, straight, all the way through. But I've read City of Bones more than that because, when a new one would come out, sometimes I would read up until that point.
Crazy.
I did that a couple times. Not for everyone, but I did a couple times.
That's why I listened to City of Heavenly Fire, because the Dark Artifices.
I feel like I would go back and read the last chapter. I don't think that I would reread the whole book.
No, because reading the last chapter would make me want to read the whole thing.
I did do, I always want to say Spark Notes, but I know that Cliff Notes, I guess, and read through, because I started listening to, God, I'm having a freaking blank here. Queen of Air and Darkness. Sorry. And obviously we're not on that book, but it started in the middle of action. And I was like, what? Huh?
And so you had to go back?
So I had to go back. But I am excited to read them through again.
Okay, so Jace opens the door and he's having this internal monologue and has this moment of self-awareness that I think is really interesting. He's reflecting on the fight that they had earlier and acknowledges that he had fallen back onto his father's teachings, that words were weapons, and he'd used his words to purposefully hurt Clary. And he was surprised that she would come back. He's like, what? I thought I pushed you away.
Right. My normal brooding defense mechanism is not working. It's backfiring.
Right. It's not working on you. You must be special.
She's a caper.
Right. I can abuse her and she'll come back for more. But she had come back. he's having a hard time wrapping his head around that. He'd actively tried to push her away, but she was totally ignoring the rules of engagement, and he doesn't really know how to proceed at this point. He's kind of like, does not compute, you know. But in true Jace fashion, he uses his wit and sarcasm to try and put Clary off. But she's a woman on a mission and doesn't have time for his bullshit. Yes, queen.
Yeah.
I like this about her. I like that she kind of like cuts through his crap and doesn't let him play games and is just kind of like, no, that's not what I'm like. I'm not here for this version of you.
Like that she is so in her head, because we're in her point of view most of the time. She is very timid almost. Or you can get the sort of, oh, I'm self-conscious. Oh, this. She
has a lot of negative self-talk.
Right. But she's very like assertive when she needs to be assertive and get shit done. Like obviously something like this. And I'm not surprised, but she could have also gone to Hodge.
But she trusts Jace.
Yeah.
So even though he was a jerk and even though she's upset with him, she knows that she can trust him when push comes to shove. And she doesn't have that relationship with Hodge per se. I feel like she's had more close encounters with the Jace kind. That was lame. But yeah, I think it's interesting.
I love it.
Nice. So it takes Clary literally screaming at Jace to get him to shut the fuck up. And it's a serious eye roll moment for me because he's just like, ba, 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 ba. And she's like, no, bitch, it's time to get down to business.
That's why I wore my business socks.
To defeat the Huns.
Okay, that's literally what I wrote in here.
You guys are nerds.
Yeah.
Really? I love it.
I can't remember where I wrote it. We'll get to it.
I don't have my button.
Shh.
It's in the other room.
Right? I'm surprised you don't.
It's literally a wall away. I mean, come on.
It's too far.
No. I will still call you out. Don't you worry.
It's okay. You're giving us free reign, license to nerd. This is like our own personal Beastie Boys album.
Geez.
License to nerd.
Okay, so once she's got him finally paying attention to her, he kind of like slows down and is like, oh shit, something's not right. Like there's something wrong with the way she looks. It's like his spidey senses are tingling. And his first instinct is that he wants to take her in his arms and reassure her. And I'm like, why? Why does he have to be such a jerk and then so fucking sweet?
Motherfucking Sour Patch Kid.
And here's the thing. If he would have said that out loud, he would have been like the epitome of abusive, right? Because like you do something mean and then you take it back. But since it was in his internal monologue, I think he just gets away with being a jackass.
Well, and of course, no one's thinking at the time that could be abusive. You're like, oh, how sweet.
Look at you.
Right. So our little trip inside Jace's head ends as soon as Clary tells him that she thinks her mother hid the mortal cup inside a painting. And I'm like, damn you, Cassie, I wanted more. Like, it was just not enough. You know what I mean?
It wasn't, yeah. We talked about it. It was not. 3.5 stars.
I don't know. I was pretty
Would not come
surprised.
again.
Ended too soon.
Right.
That's
Oh,
why.
okay.
Yeah. I'd like the whole chapter,
Right.
please. For 500, Alex.
Wait, what do you mean?
So-
Like you would have rather found out at the end of the chapter?
No, she wanted more Jace in Jace's
Oh, okay. Sorry. Got it. I'm like, what the difference really is. Okay.
head. You're like, you bitches are splitting hairs.
Oh, right. Okay.
So, unsurprisingly, Jace is more than a little confused. But instead of trying to explain what she meant, Clary decides it would be easier just to show him. So, Jace lets her in, and Clary just plops her ass down on his bed. And I'm like, what?
She just
Who does
walked
that?
to his bedroom. She's tired.
But,
I don't know.
but like, it's
How does she know where he bunks at?
ooh,
That's a
that is
good question. How many rooms are in this building? Like, does his wall, is his door decorated with like glitter letters that say Jace like diagonally down?
No, it's like one of those Sesame Street ones, you know, where it looks like a Jace Avenue. And then it says 1, 2, 3 on the top. And then underneath it's like, don't enter, especially you, Hodge.
No girls allowed.
Oh, God.
Wipe your paws.
He was a fucking doormat.
Yeah, it's for church.
Okay,
You
that's
guys
fair.
are too much, literally. Too much. Okay, so Clary opens her sketch pad and shows him the picture of the coffee cup that she just drew in her room. In a
Not his
No.
angel wings.
So realistic.
And then he's like, draw me like one of your French girls.
that'll never get old.
Oh god, that's great.
So she shows him.
It's going to be on my tombstone. Sorry, I'll stop.
I'm gonna write
Throw
Omar a
punch
letter like we do every week with the episodes for title ideas. I'm gonna write Omar a letter for ideas to put on your tombstone.
You really think that I'm going to die before him?
Oh, wait. Kristen and I will do it then. Wait.
You are cutting me short of my Golden Girls house with you guys.
Yeah. We'll give it to your lawyer.
Dude, let's be honest.
Thank
we're
you.
all gonna be old hags together.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the Betty White character.
You
I'm
can't
Blanche.
just do that. I'll be the old grouchy one. I love that show, but I cannot remember her
Bee?
freaking name. Yes, that's me. I'll tell you guys what to do all
she's
the time.
like naive and kind of like dumb. That's me.
Okay. Good deal.
Oh my gosh.
I did it again.
Stop it. You guys are like, you all of a sudden during this quarantine became 42-year-old dads.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's not sudden. It's been in the works for a while.
It's just creeping out.
Anyway.
It's because we're spending so much time with our children.
Together. We finished each other's sandwiches.
You bitch, if you ever finish my sandwich, I'd be pissed.
Oh, dude. Especially if you had bread and butter pickles.
You gonna eat that?
I'm pretty sure, Robin, that you have made that sandwiches joke in the last like 3 podcasts.
Sorry, take it, cut it out.
I'm leaving it in.
I did the stupid Jake voice like 3 times too. Jake is dead. Let it rest. Bury it.
So, Clary shows him this coffee cup that she drew in a fucking course. Jace, I can't take anything serious for more than 2 seconds. Wayland has to throw a few sarcastic snips in. But the joke's on him because Clary reaches into the drawing and fucking pulls out the cup live and in 3D. Okay, so once Jace has had a chance to check himself, Clary explains that she used runes to hide the cup in the drawing, but she doesn't know what they are or where they come from. They just popped into her head and she drew them exactly how she saw them. But she thinks that Jocelyn hid the mortal cup in one of Madame Dorothea's tarot cards.
That's a very good thought to think automatically to something like that.
Well, if we go back to the chapter when they went into Madame Dorothea's apartment and she pulled the card, she pulled the Ace of Cups, and Jace had commented, "That's the mortal cup."
Okay, good point.
So dots connecting, and it was
That was very fast on very little sleep. Good job, Clary.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, it was like 4 days ago for Clary, whereas for us, it was like 2 months ago.
It's true.
So Jace and Clary rally up the troops to get down to business to defeat the Huns. Thank you. I appreciate the golf clap. And they're all huddled together planning how they're going to retrieve the cup. Why did I just stutter over the place?
It's okay.
So Alec is wary. He thinks that this is just another excuse for Jace to be the reckless hero, and he wants to let the Clave handle getting the cup. But Jace isn't about to let anyone else take his glory. And he actually says, "It's just better if we do this ourselves," said Jace impatiently. "Hodge and I already discussed it, and that's what we've decided." What? He's like, "Don't worry, we collectively decided for you. This is what we're going to do. And we're not going to let the government know that we found the most precious artifact of our, species?"
At least he let Alec know this time.
At least he told him. He let him in on the secret. So Isabella's in. Clary tries to reason with Alec. She says that Dorothea doesn't trust the Clave, but she does trust Clary. And as far as they know, she's the only one who can retrieve the cup from the tarot card. If they let the Clave handle it, then they run the risk of Dorothea running and losing the mortal cup again. So Alex's response to this logic is to tell Clary to go by herself.
I mean, it does sound simple. She's just a neighbor, but...
Right, but, again, it's, the most important artifact of their entire species.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of important. And, maybe someone could, if someone was following her, she could definitely die.
He's just
No big
shaking
deal.
that salt shaker.
He is. So Jace doesn't make the situation any better. Instead, he plays straight into Alec's insecurities like a giant asshole, telling him that he can stay home if he's too scared. I'm sorry, but when did we revert back to second grade schoolyard taunts? Bad parabatai. Bad.
He did it to Clary, too.
I know.
"Sticks and stones may break my bones, but Jace's words are always sharp like a knife."
He didn't vow a permanent vow of love and protection with Clary. He did that with Alec, and he's still a jackass. What the fuck?
He is kind of a douche canoe.
Right?
Yes.
So because Jace is the golden boy and gets whatever he wants, whether it be through manipulation or sheer luck, Alec relents and they all agree to go together. There's only one problem. They need a ride. So Clary mentions that Simon has a license and immediately regrets it. Things edited in a bad way last night, and now she's going to ask him for a favor? Yikes. You wouldn't think about that before you opened your damn mouth? But she was arguing with Alex, so I think she didn't even think about it.
Yeah, or it's something that would seem like it'd be very common to say normally.
Yeah.
"Oh, yeah, Amanda has a license. Yeah, I'm mad at that bitch."
Or that bitch is mad at me.
Right.
Yeah.
So they have this little snippet from the book that I'm going to read. "But he hasn't got a car," she added quickly. "So does he drive his parents' car?" Jace asked. Clary sighed, settling back against the desk. "No, usually he drives Eric's van, to gigs and stuff. Sometimes Eric lets him borrow it for other stuff, if he has a date." Jace snorted. "He picks up his dates in a van? No wonder he's such a hit with the ladies." "It's a car," Clary said. "You're just mad Simon has something you haven't got." "Shots fired, bang, bang, motherfucker. How's that truth bomb taste, Wayland?"
Go, girl.
I love that she calls him out on his shit for being such an ass.
He super deserves it.
Right? And too often...
His feelings are still
too
hurt.
often our broody teenage boys get off with being assholes. They need to be called out more often. So I really appreciate that about Clary's character. It was too many C's. I can't handle alliteration.
Alex and Carrie.
So Clary and Jace do what they do best. They bicker until Clary can't stall anymore and takes the phone to call Simon.
Oh, well, Clary dials Simon's phone number from memory, which is crazy. I don't know how many numbers that I have memorized anymore to be able to do that. So I'm glad she was able to.
I don't.
Do you think she's calling his house?
You have a lot more numbers memorized than anyone I know.
That's true.
At Amanda.
Okay, I don't know if it's true. I have quite a few numbers memorized.
I don't have anyone. Well, okay. So to be fair, like if my mom like lived in the house that I grew up in and still had like a home phone, I would remember that. But like no one has a home phone anymore. I think.
Sound like you said a hoe phone. Nobody's got hoe phones anymore.
I got two.
Where's all the
Mine
burners
had
at?
phones.
Did you say your Nana?
I said Mina.
Oh, I thought you said like my Nana has
A
one.
hoe phone.
She's got a burner. Yeah, a hoe phone.
Grandpa passed away a few years ago, so you never know.
Tricks.
Wait, what? Like, wait, no.
Like I might be able to pull my mom's number out without checking my phone. But that's the only one. I don't know my husband's number. I don't know my daughter's number. I'm terrible.
That's crazy.
Like if I saw it on the caller ID, I would recognize it, but I wouldn't be able to tell you from memory.
Okay.
I have my husband's, my dad's phone number. I know the first part of. I think I know yours, Kristen.
Oh, sweet.
And I think I know the first part of yours. Yours 805, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well, I have had the same phone number for.
Okay. Clary reaches Simon because she has his phone number memorized, and she tells him that she needs to ask a favor. You're kidding, he says. She
Nope.
explains, yeah. Guess what? She explains that they figured out where the mortal cup is, and they just need a car to go get it. He makes a joke asking if the demon slayers need to be driven by his mom. Yeah, they do. Clary convinces him to borrow Eric's van, reminding him that if they have the mortal cup, she would have a chance at getting her mom back. Simon starts comparing the situation to a D&D. No, to D&D. I don't understand what it is. A D&D game?
Yes.
D&D? I don't know. And Clary yells at him to knock it off and that this isn't a game.
It's not a game, Simon.
Yeah. Well, she's not wrong, but I mean, when do you stop being mean to him when you're asking him for a
God,
favor?
stop. Yeah.
Yeah. She's concerned. She is concerned Valentine could be torturing her mom, and she'd do anything to save her, reminding him that she did it for him. Ooh.
Okay,
No, Robin.
Again, what is up with all the emotional manipulation? What the fuck, dude?
This chapter has just exploded very quickly with that.
Right?
Awesome. Simon agrees to pick them up, but he's not happy about it. And before Clary can thank him, Simon hangs up the phone. And I definitely would have too. She's like, click. It's gone. Bye, Felicia. Deuces. I'm out.
I was going to say, would
so
you
after-
have gone? But I know the answer is yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's her mom. I think if it was something else, I probably would have been like, sorry, no. Figure it out. Take a cab.
I wouldn't be able to handle the years of guilt that would succumb me.
Yeah.
If I didn't. So yeah, of course I would.
Yeah. After breakfast, Clary and Hodge are in the library while the others are getting ready to potentially go into battle. I don't know what exactly they're expecting, but I guess it's always good to be prepared. Hodge tells Clary that he was thinking of Simon, Alec, and Jace. Okay, and he says, where there is feeling that is not requited. Is that correct?
Requited?
Requited?
Mm-hmm.
Requited?
Requited.
Requited.
Like
My
unrequited.
bad.
Yeah. There is an imbalance of power. Okay. It is an imbalance that is easy to exploit, but it is not a wise course. Where there is love, there is often also hate. They can exist side by side.
Thank you.
And she
Master
clarifies.
Yoda.
Yeah. Yeah. He's an odd duck.
He's a weird
Okay.
dude.
It's weird to remember that he is the same age as their parents. He just seems so old.
Mm-hmm. Brooding.
Yep. Yep.
And to be fair, Hodge is not just talking about Clary and Simon. He's talking about Alec and Jace too.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
right. Okay. I didn't get that. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Hodge told Claire he was thinking Simon,
he
Alex,
did.
and Jace.
That's what I was going to say. Alec and
Yeah.
Jace. Yeah, that's funny.
Do you think he's saying
mostly-
do you think he knows, or just like the friendship love?
Oh no, I mean I think he knows. I think it's obvious to everyone.
Well, if Clary picked up on it,
Right.
and she was only there a few days.
And Hodge is their teacher. He's seen them grow up, and he's seen them every day, day in and day out. He's gonna notice.
I feel like. Do you think it was one of those things like where, like the Simon Clary thing, where like one day it just changed for him?
I think it just slowly crept up on him.
like I think he loves Jace obviously as his parabatai, but just because he's attracted to him does not mean he's in love with him. I don't think Alec knows what love is yet.
No 16-year-old really does.
Well, Alec's 18, but
Okay.
I got married at 19, and I can tell you I sure didn't. Ding!
Mistakes were made.
PSA from Kristen.
Mistakes
That's
were
what
made.
it says when you accidentally when you're playing Call of Duty and like you accidentally like murder yourself or fall off a cliff. It's like mistakes were made.
I like that.
It's good. I like it too. All right. Well, Clary. Nope. She clarifies. Clary clarifies.
Clearly, Clary clarifies.
Yes. Good job. She says that Simon doesn't hate her. And Hodge tells her that over time he may grow to hate her if he feels used. Yeah. He explains that Luke was her mother's Simon, which now makes sense.
Dude.
He was in love with her, but she never saw it, only ever thought of him as a friend. Luke couldn't watch her with Valentine once they were married, so he left the circle, and they all thought he was dead. Bleh. Sorry, you were trying
It's
to say
okay.
something.
Hodge
and I
needs
just
the
kept
van
talking.
too, so like stop.
Yeah. I guess he's just trying to be dadly.
Well, I mean, Simon's already on the way up. So he's just counseling her. Like, it's already a done deal, but he's counseling her, like, going forward, like, be careful, tread lightly, because if you exploit it too much, it's not going to be good for your life, for your relationship going forward.
Mm-hmm. Well, and he also takes the time to point out about Luke and her mom, that they were in the same situation. And she's surprised that Luke had felt that way. She'd never gotten that feeling from him. And that also is surprising to me.
That is weird.
Is she blind?
Right? And I think we've talked about this a couple of times, but it's just, it boggles my mind. Like, how can it not be glaringly obvious to everybody in the room?
Yeah.
I want to know. Obviously, they probably haven't had time, but if I were Clary, I would want Hodge to sit down and just kind of like word vomit. Tell me everything you know, instead of like
Break down my history.
oh, by the way, by the way, by
Here's
the way,
a picture, and like,
but don't show anybody the picture. Here's this, but don't blah blah blah.
yeah.
Right.
I would just want to have a come to Jesus meeting.
Uh-huh.
Like, give
So
me
I
all
guess,
the
yeah.
deets.
Well, Clary wonders why Luke would act like he didn't care about her mother to Pangborn and the other dude.
Really, Clary?
And Hodge, Hodge suggests that his hatred is finally coming to the surface. At first, Clary adamantly disagrees, but then starts to remember the way he had turned her away when she had called, and the look on his face when he was when the men asked about her. And I don't know. It's weird to, I don't know.
I feel like there's always, okay, in my brain anyway, the person, on your shoulder that's like, that would be saying these things to you because they're not nice things to say. And you can kind of like, it's this repertoire, but there's always this little thing in the back that's like, don't be dumb. Luke cares about you. He's probably trying to protect you. There has to be a different thing going on. It's weird to harbor these feelings for 15 years, however many years, and have them never come out. Like, he's not going to be biding his time until this happens. Like, tell this person to STF you, you know?
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So she's over it. She ghosts. She goes to her room to get a hoodie and takes a moment to look at the photo of her mother and Valentine again.
Okay, I love this. I love that she's like, I gotta go get my hoodie. Like,
yeah.
If there are certain things about Clary that are not relatable because it's very tropey, this is not one of them. This is very relatable. Like,
Everybody
I need
needs
to
a
get my comfy
hoodie.
hoodie because I don't. She doesn't have a glamorous like leather trench coat. Like,
Yeah. And it's hot,
Like Keanu
right? Like
Reeves.
she probably doesn't. Yeah.
It's a glamorous leather trench coat like Keanu. Neo,
I was thinking,
you are
I
the
was thinking of
one.
something that Izzy would wear.
Leather jacket, maybe, but not a trench coat. I don't think. Maybe.
Oh, come on.
Maybe with
with
high boots.
I wouldn't think
Yeah.
leather. I would think like a really nice like wool trench coat.
Yeah, but
depending on the time
okay,
of day.
wool is very classy. Like maybe Izzy in her 20s would wear wool, but Izzy at 16, she's wearing patent leather.
That's fair.
Her bedroom is black with like gold swirls.
She
Okay.
sponge painted it.
She's not wearing a peacoat.
No.
It's fair.
No.
Well, anyway, I like this also. I love looking at pictures of my mom when she was young.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Me
it's so
too.
much fun. And
Mina
also
had
just looking.
great 80s hair.
Oh God, I bet she did. Oh, that's great. You'll have to show us some pictures.
Oh, yeah. Robin's dad had the most magnificent hair.
Yes, he did.
It's good.
It had powers all its own.
It's like a
The
liger.
mullet.
A liger. Yep.
It's a mythical creature.
Yeah.
The best part about the mullet was that the front wasn't just short, it was feathered.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Well, and he had a lot of it. Like it was dense.
it was feathered bang. It was Joe Dirt.
Mm-hmm. It's
Good
beautiful.
times. It's coming back.
Awesome.
By the way, the mullet is coming
Ugh.
back. Thank you,
Ugh,
Joe.
Don't do it. Oh gosh.
Please. No.
I don't even know if that was totally a mullet with the front part.
I think it
don't
was.
know.
It was long in the back, short in the front, but
It wasn't.
it was almost like
it was a supercuts mullet.
but
Yeah.
the sides.
It
It
was
was like a
budget.
mohawk mullet.
like a bowl cut mullet. All right. Clary goes back to the library once she has her hoodie and everyone is ready, all geared up and covered in fresh runes. So when I read this, I was thinking like fresh isn't cool. Fresh.
So fresh and so
Some
clean.
freaking
Yeah.
fresh runes.
Yep. Alex, there I go. I'm copying Robin. Alec comes to Jace's rescue because he's attempting to draw finish a rune on his arm. And it sounds like he's struggling. So Jace told him it was a basic Aratsi rune, which is explained as a healing rune. So you guys have told me a little bit about drawing runes and kind of given me the picture of the process. Nope. Sorry. Robin's name covered up. You clicked. So it covered up
Robin,
my
why
typing.
are you fucking with the document?
Because
well, she's
there
reading.
wasn't a space and it was driving me bonks. Sorry.
You messed me up.
She does it on purpose.
I know.
You're welcome.
I've had a headache this whole time. I should have taken Advil. Okay. You guys have talked about drawing runes before, but this gave me a much better picture of the process. So this is from the book, obviously. Jace winced as the stele slid over his skin, his eyes half closing and his fists tightened until the muscles on his left arm stood out like cords.
To me, this description sounds like he's like slamming some H. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
And then his eyes rolled back.
It does. It does sound a little
He
hardcore.
bit down on the leather belt.
Yeah.
It's a little much.
Well, it sounds
kinda
very
graphic.
painful for something that might not even be needed. And how long do they last?
It depends. So what he's putting on him is an Aratsi, and that it's a healing rune. It just makes you heal faster, but it doesn't like it's a powerful rune, but like if your leg's chopped off, it's not going to regrow your leg, right?
Okay.
So it's like in comparison to the injury, right? Like if you're hurt too bad, it'll make it better, but like it's not going to completely cure you, right? It just makes you heal faster.
And we talked about this last time where it's like, he's starting the rune, but Jace or whoever will finish it when it's needed.
Right. To me, it almost sounds like they get hurt and they're like, activate. No?
Don't watch
that's
the
not how it goes?
TV show. Don't watch the movie.
Oh, I will when we're done. Oh, because I have to know.
We're having a party. And
Yeah.
we're going to watch it.
Oh, that's exciting. Well, eventually, Simon arrives in Eric's icky van, and the seats have protruding springs, and Jace puts the weapons in the trunk like they're groceries. And to me, this is funny just because Robin and I work in the mattress industry, and every now and then, not very often anymore on newer mattresses, but you have a protruding wire through the side or something, a coil pops or something every now and then. And this just, every time I was rereading it, rewriting it, I'm like, protruding wire, protruding, like I'm just picturing how dangerous they are and like what we go through if it does happen to someone. And it's just, I'm so mom right now.
Clip it and put some duct tape on it. Come on, man.
Exactly. Anyway.
You're going to get tetanus.
You're up to date on your tetanus shots. It's fine.
So while Jace is putting the weapons in the trunk like they're groceries, again, Simon compliments Alex's bow, and they talk about Simon going to archery camp, which is odd, but okay. Clary starts
Why is
being
that odd?
I don't know. That's a weird thing to choose. You live in New York, like.
Do you think
I don't
that
know.
the camp is specifically, the camp is specifically for archery, or he did archery while he was at camp?
I think it says going to archery camp, but it's possible they could be learning other things.
Like bow
It's pretty
staff skills,
specific. Computer
nunchuck
hacking
skills.
We have to kind of like put ourselves, because we don't live in that area, but like these are New York kids, so these are city kids, so it's not uncommon to send your kid upstate to camp to the country over the summer for them to get that experience, because otherwise they've never seen green other than Central Park.
Right, the concrete jungle.
Right.
Welcome
Yeah.
to the jungle.
Yeah, good one. Well, I just mean archery. It's very specific. I don't know.
He wants to be a rogue.
And it sounds very hard.
I mean, it's not really.
Shooting
I
a
mean,
bow.
Don't talk to the throwing knife
Especially
lady.
kid.
That's true.
I'm sure
Okay.
it is difficult.
That's- Yeah.
Lots of practice.
Well, Clary starts being super annoying. Again, almost like she doesn't know what to say. So she starts interrogating Simon about why guys say hey instead of hello, which I just think is very odd.
And the
I
Beatles
don't
just
know
want to
anyone
know
that
why
says-
you say goodbye
Yeah.
and I say hello.
Yeah. Hello. Well, that sums up my part. So go for it, Robin.
Moving on.
Ruben.
Seems like Clary and Simon are patching things up, albeit awkwardly. Pretty sure that's how it would happen for me. Totally my MO. Awkward.
True dat.
They arrive at Clary's house. The trained Shadowhunters go check for demonic activity using that sensor that we won't see again, and give the all clear to Clary and Simon with a super dad quote of, "Let's kick some demon butt." Alec trades his favorite bow and arrow for a feather staff. And I can't not think about Napoleon Dynamite, as I just said. Bow staff.
Yep.
Why? I don't remember.
Because he has lots of skills. Girls only like guys that have
Yeah.
skills. What kind of skills?
Oh. I don't know.
Bow staff.
Mhm.
Computer hacking.
Nunchuck skills.
Nunchuck.
Gotcha. It's been so long since I've seen that movie.
Because
I think I know all
Yeah.
the words.
you're lame. And you need to go make yourself a quesadilla. Okay.
Dang quesadilla.
This is totally Jace's fault, by the way. Him leaving the bow.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
Remind
well,
me.
Jace basically called him a coward. Stay home, coward.
Oh.
And so he's always kind of in the back as like the protector, the old elder brother.
And he can shoot a bow from far away.
So
I gotcha.
now he's changing his long-range weapon for a melee weapon because he wants to get into the action.
I'm calling this one nerd.
Amanda doesn't have the button, so it's for like free-range chickens.
What? What? We're just picking out all these gobbly ones.
Losers say what?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Leaving the bow strikes Isabel with concern, and obviously it would me too. He's totally acting out of character. No, we get to hear again about how the site works, like the site. Simon's able to see the Shadowhunters because he knows the truth of what he's looking at. And he's told to wait in the car like a good boy.
You're just the ride.
Right. We get to see this nice...
He's the getaway driver. He's got to keep it running.
Yeah, well,
That's fair.
and we get to see a nice side of Jace who tells them it's because they need an idling getaway car instead of "you'll get us killed, you dumb mundane."
But say it correctly the way you wrote it. Okay?
I did write Mundy.
Shame.
Bam.
Shame on your entire family.
It's because they're saying Mundy in this book.
Yeah, okay.
Mundy.
It will continue in this podcast.
I'd like to hear Kristen's accent again.
For what?
"You'll get us killed, you dumb Mundy."
No. I don't think I can do it. I need practice, and now's not the time.
Okay. Nerd. Okay.
You don't know how to use that.
They make their way inside and are hit with a wall of stench. Demons.
Like when I go into Drew's room.
Yes.
Wait. My son. Okay. He's a teenager.
Jace assures them that they're no longer there because they checked. But if Madame Dorothea has been entertaining demons, she's going to have some splaining to do. I think it's weird that demons have their own stench, by the way. Because I'm assuming Forsaken don't smell like Suavitel, you know?
Right.
Like, it's just weird. They have their own odor.
I would agree with you. I would think Forsaken would be the ones that smell. Although I guess Jake would smell, so never mind.
I know. I think they all would smell, but it's just weird that I would just always assume like rotting flesh.
So just the ones that are rotting, not like...
Rotting garbage.
Okay.
Wasn't that how it was? Or that might be in my head. I have no idea.
But they're just obviously distinct smells.
What about the ones that are half? Like warlocks?
They have
Can
axe.
they smell good?
Magnus can't smell.
That's what I'm wondering.
He's too
He has
sexy.
axe deodorant, like I said. I wonder
Okay,
if
it covers it
demons
up.
smell like sulfur. Sort of, you know what I mean?
Oh, that would make
Like,
sense.
smell the eggs.
Like hellfire?
And go.
Like hellfire, yeah.
Oh.
You've been watching Supernatural?
I've never seen that, actually.
Oh, I think you would really enjoy
I'm
it.
getting through the Gilmore Girls. And then I have to watch
Over it.
90 Day Fiancé.
Dude, seriously, this is a really good season. The best ever.
Lost my
Sorry.
place. It's okay. They head to Madame Dorothea's door, only visible by the witchlight since the lights are out and the skylight is still gunked up. Damn that Luke. Thank you.
It's not his job.
He's not the landlord. Madame Dorothea answers the door and pulls Clary into an embrace. Awkward. She's happy to see her and was worried something had happened when she jumped through the portal. And no note. No car gone.
You didn't call. You didn't write.
I was trying to Molly Weasley. Sorry. No note.
Nerd.
Car gone. Your father's...
See, if you would have said it like that, then I would have got it.
Sorry. Everyone
You should
is
be.
invited in. Madame Dorothea deduces that Jocelyn is still missing, and they discuss Valentine being the culprit.
And that's it?
No, sorry.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. I was going to say, I thought there was more to this chapter.
I just put read from chap J Swit, LOL. But it seemed very abrupt, so I just wanted to see. Okay. Love gone wrong. The worst. Jace made a soft, almost inaudible noise at that. A chuckle. Dorothea's ears prickled like a cat's. What's so funny, boy? What would you know about it? He said. Love, I mean. Dorothea folded her soft white hands in her lap. More than you might think, she said. Didn't I read your tea leaves, Shadowhunter? Have you fallen in love with the wrong person yet? Jace said, Unfortunately, Lady of the Haven, my one true love remains myself. Dorothea roared at that. At least, she said, you don't have to worry about rejection, Jace Wayland. Not necessarily. I turn myself down occasionally just to keep it interesting.
So quick.
So funny.
It's one of the most iconic lines of the series.
So funny. Clary interrupts the jaw-jaw-jawing and explains their mission. Madame Dorothea.
Okay, you have to explain that because our listeners have no idea what the fuck that means.
They may.
In Spanish, a J makes an H noise. So when you laugh on the internet, you jaw-jaw-jaw instead of ha-ha-ha.
Okay.
Madame Dorothea is shocked at the news. She
shooketh.
She is shooketh, as Kristen would say. As per usual, she asks Clary where she's going to find it. It must be well hidden. Jace is like, no, don't worry, we got it. I mean, you got it, lols. Madame Dorothea gets pissed that they are saying that, number one, she has a cup, and number two, that he's insinuating that she's lying about knowing that she has the cup. And Clary pops in explaining that the cup is there, just that Madame Dorothea never knew it.
She doesn't know that we know that she knows that we know.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the cup. Clary explains Jocelyn's plan, picks up the tarot cards. They're pulsing in her hands. The power of the runes, I'm assuming. She's able to feel where the Ace of Cups is by touch and pulls it out. Clary takes Jace's stele.
Say what you're going to say.
Why are you not waiting? Why are you doing this here? The card would be so much easier to carry. Stop. Abort mission. Back the trolley up. Put on the brakes. Madame Dorothea don't care, okay? She's going to be offended regardless. Take the card and get to the van.
Yeah, you'd think that they would want to be somewhere safe with it instead of carrying it in the van where it's risky.
Shaggy is
they could
waiting
lose
for
it or
you
anything.
with Scooby. Get to the mystery machine.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They're kids.
I can't believe Jace isn't like, girl, listen.
They're excited. This is the coolest thing that they've ever done.
Well, I mean, she's, as far as we know, the only one that can get it out. So it's safer in the card. But, like, what, she wants to prove that she can do it?
Well, what if she's wrong and then she takes the cards for no reason?
Then she just bring it back.
Then she brings it back.
She's
guess
like,
that's
J.K.
true. She knows
Rowling.
where she lives. Ja, ja, ja.
Ja, 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 lols. Here's your card back. So long and thanks for all the fish.
Very good. Jokes.
Kristen's so upset right now. Okay.
I can't.
Don't ever give me license. Okay. Clary doesn't listen to us. And she starts tracing over the runes on the back of the card. The hand gripping the cup in the picture releases it. She reaches her hand into the card, grabs the cup, and pulls it out as the card dissolves into ash.
Now you can't put it back, bitch.
It's gone.
There's no going back.
I suppose she could put it in a different card or in her sketch pad.
She doesn't know how.
But she'd have to draw it first.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, so she would draw it and then put it into...
Like she did with the mug.
But she pulled the mug out, right? She didn't...
She put the
She
mug
had
in.
drawn it and put it in.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was thinking opposite.
Do you think there was like coffee in it or something? And is the coffee still in
Probably
it?
tea.
Mm.
What if there's like liquid in the mortal cup still?
I don't think so.
It would have evaporated by now. It's like apple juice.
Happy juice. Whoever had it before, they just needed a little sippy.
Yeah, they
Right.
needed a Sprite. Their tummy was upset.
Dude, you have to have a Sprite or 7-Up when you don't feel good.
Jocelyn didn't have any flatware or dishes when she ran away, so she used it to like give Clary juice.
Oh, that's sweet. Somebody draw that.
What, a baby with the mortal cup?
Jocelyn feeding Clary with the mortal cup, a sippy cup.
I feel like when we later find out what the mortal cup is used for, that might have bad implications.
Do you want to say anything else?
Oh, we can thank everyone for listening. We've been getting some new countries on the board, so that's been interesting.
What do we have this week?
We had some Argentina, lots of Portugal and Spain. Let me go over here.
I was going to say New York, but that's not a country.
We
Very
got quite a
good.
few UK listeners. Someone in Colombia, Indonesia,
Colombia.
India. Who else is new? Slovakia.
Neat. Thanks, guys.
You're so
Not
sweet.
you two. Our listeners.
Right. We just wanted to throw that out and thank our new listeners. And check out our Instagram for those pictures that Robin's going to post.
Later this
of
week.
Oh,
our
God.
embarrassing.
No makeup faces.
Oh, that's already posted, girl. I'm talking about
Oh,
the Throwback
no, yeah.
Thursday.
Oh,
It'll
yeah.
be on Thursday.
Okay. Those will be fun for you
Just
too.
one, though.
I
We
love
need to
that.
just one.
We need to superimpose an Amanda pic on there.
I was so early 2000s. I was nothing like you guys.
We were
You
next
guys are
level.
awesome.
We went
Because
next level.
you're going to put the one with makeup
I
on
was
there,
going to start
right?
with the 6th grade one.
I like the sixth.
Okay.
Yeah, do the sixth
Okay.
grade one first.
And it's just
Okay, then I looked exactly like you guys
one
then.
picture for this one. And then, we'll go more. But it's going to be good.
We got to extend the content.
You're going to love it.
Well, don't forget to go back and take our poll from last week, too, about the cheese sandwiches.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We got to know what people think.
We'll post that on later this week. On
have it
later
for you
this
tomorrow.
week.
I'm excited for people to point out that Kristen's wrong.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry.
Well, we'll have... Yeah. You're wrong. Make sure that you
Okay.
read chapter 19, Abaddon, for the next episode.
Very good. For behind the scenes content and the latest updates, check us out on Instagram at Downworlder Dish Podcast. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.